Hey guys, welcome to another tutorial. This is Sheikh Jose, and today I'll be giving you a little bit of an insight as to how we make a top 100 melodic techno track in the style of Space Motion, Silver Panda, and Sevenn. So if you like that sort of music, stay tuned. So let's break down the track. So if you haven't heard this track, I'll give you a little bit of a preview of the track. Maybe I'll just do it kind of here from just before the drop, so have a listen. So that's my track Gravity. It's been getting a lot of love actually on the Beatport top 100 melodic charts, which has been great. So if you know the track or if you've supported it, just let me say thank you very much. If you haven't, we'll go around and get yourself a copy because it really helped me out. Alright, so let's get started. So this style of track is actually quite simple to make. It follows a very catchy sort of groove in the bass line, which kind of drives the entire track, followed by the very iconic Bulgarian style ethnic vocals that you've heard in tracks from people like RG, people like Sevenn, Silver Panda, and obviously Space Motion. So let's go into the bass, and we'll give you a little bit of a breakdown as to how this groove was actually put together. So we've got just two bass lines here. We've got a sub bass line that I've broken up. I tend to do this on all my tracks. I always separate actually the sub from I guess the mid bass. The reason being I always put my basses, my sub basses in mono. It allows me a little bit more control. Also stops a lot of phasing issues that can originate between the kick and the sub. So by doing this, I actually control that sub frequency quite well. Now what I've done here is if I open up one of these MIDIs here, we're just using a 16th note with a syncopated rhythm. So as you can see there, we've got one, that's I think it's an 8th, a 16th, or 2 16ths, then an 8th, and bouncing up and down. So the melody is always kind of bouncing between the octaves. So I was just to solo that and put the actual mid bass melody together. So right there, you've got a lot of groove in that bass line, and there's a lot of tutorials that actually show you how to make this sort of pattern. So rather than like your standard 16th bass that would just go across sort of like that, we're actually doing something a little bit different where we're extending some of the notes and actually making them bounce between the octaves, which kind of gives it that really cool groove. And that groove is really what drives the entire track, because this track is actually pretty bare. There's not much to it really, just a few layers of the synths and really it's just the rolling bass line. So moving further down, oh by the way, on the sub line, if you're asking me what I'm doing, is I'm using 16th notes as well, but we're just extending the bass line a little bit longer, so it's got a little bit more of a tail, which makes the sub bass actually be a little bit more stable as it moves through the track. So if you've got headphones, you should be able to hear this, or if you've got good speakers. And we hear the kick. Now when we're at the mid bass, you'll see how much this actually gives the low end some body and also drives the groove with the mid bass. And as you can see there, I've cut out some frequencies which were competing against the sub in the mid bass. I've got a couple of layers there in the bass lines, but it's pretty much to taste. So let's move on. The next part that we've got here are basically the stabs. So I'll let you hear what that bus channel sounds like. Which is just a complement really to the bass line. It's following the similar style pattern, but it really complements the bass line, the rolling bass line. So I'll let you hear that together with the mid bass to see how it sounds. And what I've done here is I've taken the same sort of approach where we're actually trying to fill in. If I was to overlay this, if it'll let me, let's have a look. See this one. Did it let me do it? Sometimes it doesn't let me do it. Well, we are actually overlaying some of the notes on top of the existing bassline notes, and with the accents, and because of the where it sits in the frequency range in these stabs, which is a lot higher up in the frequency range. If we were to look at, where is it? Do we have any cue somewhere? Yeah, here we go. So it's sitting about 1K. And even 5K, you get a lot of that, this stab coming through. Compared to like the mid bass or the rolling bass. Which is kind of sitting a lot lower in the frequency range and kind of rolling off here at around 5K. So what I'm doing is really just using octaves to actually fill in some of those gaps in the groove to allow the track to kind of drift in and out. Moving further down, the plucks down the bottom here, pretty standard. Just 1/16 all the way through. Once again, it adds to the groove. So this track is actually built a lot on the groove as we go through. The other main part is the lead. Yeah, so this bus stab here, this is basically the other lead that you can hear throughout the track. And all I've done here is just it's a little bit of an anima lead. And if we look at the MIDI, it's just 16th notes with a pattern that I've written in there. Which basically does a call and response between the stabs and this, I guess, metallic anima stab. One interesting fact is just before the drop here, I've used an LFO effect to actually slow down that stab and then kind of build up again. So if we were to look at, where is it? Sorry, I've used an arpeggiator. Here we go. And as you can see here, it kind of turns on when this layer comes in and then turns off again. And watch this rate knob here. This is how we actually achieve that that kind of slowing down and ramping up speed in the synth. And to add more excitement to it, what I've done is just added a flanger and I'm just automating the feedback. And that really kind of helps with the build up between that drop or that break into the second drop. So I'll let you hear that again in the context of the entire song. And that kind of really adds that drama when that drop kicks in. So what we're doing is, if you want to do a video on how to actually build climax in the drop and actually help you formulate some excitement between your drops and your breakdowns, let me know in the comments below. But essentially what we're doing is also, I believe here in the master, we are automating the gain slightly. So we're dropping the gain of the overall bus, the overall stereo bus. And I'm taking away a little bit of the sides as well, just before the drop. And so what happens is you have this really huge buildup of energy. And as the drop hits, everything kind of comes back in. So we'll bring in the sides, kind of make it all mono. We drop the volume to excite the phaser effect that's coming up with the lead, but also lower the volume as it was starting to clip a little bit. And then we kind of reset everything back to 0. So have a look at this section here, and watch how much this actually adds into that drop. So it's a little trick that I use in all my productions, really. Moving on, the other part that's actually one of the main components of this track is actually the vocals. So if you don't know where to get these vocals, it's actually a contact instrument, which I have them frozen and bounced out onto audio. So we've got a couple of takes in here that I have done, and which I'm filtering out. And all I've done is just basically filter that out, right? So it's in the break. We also have another counter melody, or another vocal melody that happens throughout the track. And let's see if I've got it here. I don't think it's that one. That's not the break. Where was it? Let me have a look. So this is another contact instrument which I've bounced out to audio. I added a little bit of a Harashima, a little bit of auto filter. I'm sidechaining the vocals a little bit to the kick, and a little bit of EQ. Now I'm also adding a little bit of compression there, nothing too crazy, just to give that track a little bit more life. So that's really the main components of this track. I'll make the presets available for anyone that's in my Patreon program. If you haven't done so, you can just join this below. I'm also giving away for one more day this project to anyone who purchases the track on Beatport and sends me a copy of the receipt. I'll have this competition going basically until the 9th, so until Friday the 9th. So if you see these after that, it will be closed, but I do appreciate it if you do buy the track. If not, you can DM me in Instagram with a copy of the receipt, and I'll send you a copy of the entire project that you can use in your projects, in your own projects. Obviously you can't use the melody, you can't use the samples, but you will be able to use or study the structure and use it for your own productions. So if you enjoy this sort of video, give it a thumbs up. Until next time, this is Shay Jose signing out.